Save the best
Tony
for
Khan
last.
had a very huge announcement last week.
Oh,
And
nice.
he said they would be having a big business, which is going to be taking place in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't tell us what was going to be at the show, but apparently they might have stole Okada from WWE. So there's a lot going into this. Let's go ahead and start off with Omer. Why are you shaking
It
your
ain't
head?
a-
What do you think?
Look, it's not theft if they never had him in the first place, which is apparently what happened here. So we're talking about Okada, right?
Yeah.
Okada. Well, I mean, the whole thing, the whole shebang, the whole announcement.
I mean,
Big business.
Like it was big business is about to pick up. Guys, getting Kazuchika Okada for AEW, I cannot relay how much this means to the company. Like Mercedes, obviously big time. Y'all already know that. But what people don't know about Okada, like people who have not followed Okada, is that this man, like single-handedly almost, like helped bring New Japan back up. This is before Kenny. This is before, you know, you had like the Young Bucks and a lot of the foreign talent. Like it was him and Tanahashi who really like kept that company afloat. And like we saw them wrestle likely for the final time this past weekend in a great show, which I think like that was a great show, by the way, guys. Go check it out. It had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson on it. Will Ospreay's final New Japan match as a full-time talent. But like for me, I'm like, it's not only like the idea of like, oh, Okada's gonna come here, he's gonna have great matches, but on top of that, we're gonna get to see Kazuchika Okada in a position that he has not been in like in over 10 years, which is full-time on American television. And the last time we saw him full-time on American television was he was in TNA doing some garbage, which we're not going to talk about. But I'm super hyped for it. I can't wait. I think it's going to really expand things for AEW as well in the international markets, especially in Japan. Like, expect at some point AEW with a lot of the talent they're bringing in, Rocky Romero coming in. I think they're going to do a Japan tour within the next 3 years.
Has WWE done that? I know they've been to Japan, but have they done a Japan tour?
They do them like every few years, but I think AEW is going to do like a big one.
Yeah, I know. Brock Lesnar squashed Kofi Kingston and the New Day in Japan, right? Y'all remember that show?
Beats in the East or whatever.
They did a big Japan tour shortly after they signed. Like I think after Shinsuke went to the main roster, they did.
That might have been when
they're
that
building Shinsuke.
They do remember now and then, yeah.
Because AJ's still big out there, and so is Shinsuke, obviously.
Yeah, but not only Okada, the big money everybody is really expecting to show up at the show. I think Okada will kind of be the big surprise, but everybody's expecting to see Mercedes Mone,
the big dog.
That's Sasha Banks coming back in a huge spot in a show dedicated to her in her hometown. Do y'all think she can pack out this building?
Yeah, definitely.
How big is the building? How many people can it take?
She's probably gonna bring over 10,000. I believe that they've already sold over 6,000.
Yeah, I think though if the capacity is 14,000, I don't see them doing any less than 12.
Okay. So yeah, as far as her spot in AEW, where do y'all see her going? Because you got Tony Storm at the top of the mountain right now, and I was talking to Omer, I believe Dubbs, and Bryan about this as well. Do you just throw her in the fire and have her take that belt from Tony Storm? Because now you got a problem because your WWE girl just came and overthrew the AEW girl that you built up, because Tony Storm wasn't really Tony Storm as she is right now in WWE, but Sasha Banks is pretty much Sasha Banks. That's the WWE girl taking your championship on the first run. So is that the right decision?
Who you asking?
Whoever wants it.
Oh, go ahead,
Britt Baker might. I think Britt Baker might either be the first feud or they'll form a faction. I mean, Britt Baker's clearly, you've been seeing her all over social media lately. She's been silent, didn't know what she was doing, where she was for so long, only posting a tweet saying, "Oh, you guys wanted me off TV," or blah blah blah, and now she's been gone for like as long as Jamie Hayter. And so she posted those pictures from Super Bowl, everything else. So it could either be a faction deal with Mercedes, and then what happens when Jamie Hayter comes back, right? And then you have this turmoil, and then you can build a story around that. And it's like, who does Britt Baker side with? Where does she go? But I think your eventual match is going to be Mercedes and Jamie Hayter, as we talked about. on Real Take for All In. I think that's a great move. I think if you're not doing Britt Baker first, you're doing that title feud first. But if you're not doing a title feud first, I think Britt Baker's the only thing that makes sense to me because it's the only big enough name.
What did you have, Clint?
I was just going to say, you know how they bring in some big stars sometimes and they don't put them in a feud right away or have them wrestle right away? Maybe she'll be like a manager to start off, like the brand manager, not like a person's manager. So like a general manager, just a way to really build her up as like this force. And then she's like, that's it. I'm taking things in my own hands. And then she'll wrestle whoever. And then they'll start it off that way. That's how I would think would go.
I cannot wait for that Nick Aldis WrestleMania moment.
I think people would be really mad about that, but I wouldn't mind it because she, you know what, unfortunately she is injury prone. So I don't know if you want to put her out there on random dynamites and give her, you know, those chances to get hurt. You want to keep her, yeah, there you go. You want to keep her protected as much as you can. Bryan, you wanted to add something to the Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné convo?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? As long as they book her well. And lastly, the one thing it's Omar Don.
He's laughing. He's laughing.
He's like, yeah, you know, yeah, it's whatever. Like, you know, it's no CM Punk coming back to WWE, but like that's the vibe you're giving me, Bryan. You're like, man, like,
but yeah, what's it called? The other thing I do want to say about Okada is it hurts. You know what I'm saying? As a WWE fan, not to have him, but the reality of the matter.
Oh, you're not an AEW fan?
Huh?
This is shocking news. You're not an AEW fan?
Listen, bro. But the reality of the matter is,
he will be March 8th. He will be on April 8th.
That's fine. But listen, bro, we don't need him. We don't need him, so it does not matter, dog. Y'all can have him. So yeah, that's about it for me.
You had something else to add on mine? I'm not going to put mine right now. I'm going to let him have that one.
I feel like WWE's got too much stuff going on right now. Like Okada is such a big star, he kind of needs a space. There's too much going on. I think.
I don't know. WWE needed him. I think WWE needed him right now.
We don't need him.
They needed him at WrestleMania for Seth Rollins because we'll get to the WWE talk, but what's going on there? Anybody else want to add anything before we jump forward?
Well, we did. I don't think Loaded even had any.
I'm leaving it open for whoever wants to say something. I know everybody's not invested.
Mercedes going to AEW. I don't think anyone can save that show because of Tony Khan. Like his booking is just.
There you go. Finally, someone said it.
My boy.
Finally, someone said that. I've been waiting for that.
He does not know how to book a show. He thinks he does. He thinks the shows are great. It doesn't matter who he has on the show. Sign Okada, sign Mercedes. She got the big bag, I'm sure. I mean, she had talks with WWE. They rejected her because she asked for too much money.
You know,
Tony Khan, of course, gave her the money. Of course, he is.
Yo, that's why AEW is not making no profits. That's why they're not making no profits.
Nah, y'all
they keep overpaying everybody. That's why they're not making no profits.